Okay, we are on the record in case D530134. State your appearances, please. State your name for the record.
My name is Geraldo.
Okay.
Emily McFarling, bar number 8567, appearing on behalf of the defendant, Andrea Gutierrez, who's present to my far left. I also have with me my law clerk, Michael Burton.
Okay. Okay, so we are here on the evidentiary hearing. Complaint for custody was filed by the plaintiff, March 2016. Wow, it's been a while. Answering counterclaim filed by the defendant in May. And then the numerous motions filed. Hold on one second. Okay, so first motion was filed by the defendant, actually. I just want to make sure procedurally who would go first. Because he filed one after you filed one, or your client filed one. Did you know that?
I wasn't on the case at the time.
I know. She filed it. She filed it herself. Motion for temporary custody, visitation, child support filed by Ms. Gutierrez.
On 5/26/16.
And then he filed one thereafter. So on June 20th. And then your client filed an opposition to his motion. And then all the other motions that were filed after that. So I'm going to go look to you first. Okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Just a housekeeping matter, sorry. I see that he filed appendix for exhibits, but I don't have any exhibits, so I just want to make sure. Okay, so the plaintiff filed.
I know.
Okay, so I don't have physically.
I know.
Okay.
We'll deal with it. Actually, you know what? I mean, he's the plaintiff, and I guess this is the final determination of the case. So I changed my mind. How's that?
Okay, that's what I was expecting, actually,
All right.
for him to go first.
That's why you're looking at me like, wow, you're crazy. Okay, so I'm going to look at the plaintiff to go first, because instead of, like, if this were a motion to relocate or something like that, obviously, then you would do if you had filed first, then that would be you. But because it's just, we're proceeding on your complaint for custody, we're going to have you go first. And you're going to, if you want to do an opening statement, you're welcome to do that. And then Ms. McFarling will respond, and then you can start your case. So, do you want to do any opening statement of any sort?
Well, I seen that they objected to everything I submitted, like saying it's not relevant or authentic. So I'm just curious. I mean, are you gonna allow?
Well, here's the way I'm going to do it, because because it's so late in the game. Normally, that would be dealt with by motions and what have you prior to us getting here today. But if you propose an exhibit and she objects, then we'll deal with it at that point, because it could be that it's not been disclosed in the past, and I mean, some of those have, as I understand it, haven't been disclosed. That becomes an issue. And then also, she may object for other reasons, relevance or hearsay, or it depends upon what the basis is. But because I don't know what the exhibits are, and because we don't really have it pending as a motion, I'll just deal with them as you propose them. And Ms. McFarling can either make an objection, and I'll either grant, sustain her objection, or I'll overrule it and I'll allow it in. Okay.
And then also, I was wanting to ask if, like, I know my wife's a witness or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So if would she be able to, like, would we be able to get her out of the way, that way she can help me after, like, to do this here?
She's not allowed to sit at counsel table. If you have a witness that you call, they can sit in the gallery after they testify, but you can't have anybody help you at the table.
After they do their testimony?
Right. They're allowed to sit in the gallery afterward, because now they're no longer testifying. But unless Ms. McFarling intends to call her.
No, and actually I'm going to be objecting to her being called because she wasn't disclosed by plaintiff timely, along with all the rest of his witnesses.
Yeah.
The last time we were here and I asked for more time to get counsel or whatever, and it didn't work out. But I don't remember his name.
Mr. Burton?
Mr. Burton, yeah, he was here alone, and now Ms. McFarlane's here. Is he not supposed to be on the one handling?
He
the
works
case?
for Ms. McFarlane, so they work together. They're allowed to bring him.
Because I was like under the impression that he wasn't a lawyer and he was going to be handling, so that's why I was kind of like a little bit more.
Well, he actually
okay
passed
with
the bar.
coming in, alone, or actually hoping my wife would be able to help me.
She can't. I'm not allowed to let that happen.
Okay.
Only people who have taken the bar and or licensed, and he was provisionally licensed as a law student, but he's since passed the bar, as I understand it, and he's awaiting his license. So, Ms. McFarlane is entitled to be here as part of her law practice.
All right, that's fine.
So, all right. So, with that, so you're going to object to the wife testifying?
Yes, I am. Specifically, the disclosure of the exhibits. The witness list was filed August 16th, 2017 for all of his witnesses. That's the first witness list disclosed in this case, even though the case was filed in March 2016, and he had asked for a continuance last time you were here as well. So he's had more than enough time to have disclosed witnesses in almost a year and a half. And they were only disclosed, can't do the math on that, a week ago or so.
Right.
When I was at self-help, they said if you're per se, there's no time limit to submit.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they said.
Wow.
They said if you had a lawyer, that there is, but he said if you're per se, you can submit anything till however long.
Wow. That's not true. Okay, so you're vested with the responsibility of following the rules like the attorneys are. I mean, I don't know. Who do you have out there to call as a witness?
My wife, my mother, and my sister.
Wow. And they were never disclosed before August 6th. Here's the problem. If you don't disclose them before the end of discovery, then the other side doesn't have the opportunity to ask questions of them, depose them if they choose to. And so...
My wife was disclosed.
Was she deposed?
We did depose his wife.
Well, they knew she was going to be...
So then you knew that she was going to be a witness.
No, we had provisionally listed her as our witness, but have not included her on our final...
Okay, so I'm going to say that we should let the wife, if you've deposed her, then you've had the opportunity to ask questions of her and pursue the discovery there. But everybody else, anybody else that has not been deposed or had the opportunity for the defendant to depose, then I'm not going to allow. So, with that, you can go ahead and call your first witness, unless you have anything more to say about the case. Do you want to do any other opening statement? Lay out your case, or you want to just get started?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know how this is going to go or whatever, or how to even go about this. So, just,
You want to call your first witness?
Okay, Andrea. Or my witness? My wife?
Whoever you want to call first. Either your wife, or you can call Andrea, however you want to do it.
Yeah, let's call my wife in first.
Okay.
self-help, they said I'd be able to have someone speak for me or help me at least. So that's why I, thought that's how this was gonna go.
I don't know what you mean by that. Someone who speak for you.
My wife, like, help me speak and do this whole.
I don't know what they're telling you, but that's just not true. I'm not allowed to let anyone be beyond the bar, which is what that is called right behind you there, if they haven't been barred or licensed, or unless you represent yourself. So I can't allow that. That's why people go to law school and get law licenses, so she can sit up here.
Raise your right hand. Face the clerk.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
State your name and your address for the record, please.
Nicole Geraldo, 665.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Giraldo, you're up.
But do we bring Andrea here because she's been keeping the kids from me?
Okay, before you get started, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have you sworn in, by the way. I'm going to have you sworn in, so let's swear him in first. And then understand that you're going to ask her questions. Go ahead.
Okay. Please raise your right hand. You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Okay, so you're going to ask her questions, question and answer session, and it's not going to be that you put words in her mouth or tell her what to say. You have to ask her questions, and if you're going to make that's why I swear you in. If you're going to make statements, then I want them under oath. So, go ahead and get started.
Okay, why did we file for this case?
We filed because Andrea was keeping the kids from you.
Has she been truthful throughout the entire, since the beginning? To
No.
the lawyer or to the court?
No.
Do we have proof to show otherwise?
Yes.
Yes, pretty much. I don't know what else to ask.
Well, what are you trying to prove?
It's all in our exhibits and everything we submitted. Everything that she said the whole time throughout this whole entire court case. I mean, she hasn't even been truthful to her lawyer. And so I'm here, to show that she's been keeping the kids from me. They say that she was the parent most likely to work with the other parent and be the better co-parent or whatever, which is false.
Well, you need to tell me why, what it is that you want, and what it is that why it is under the, based upon the facts of the case, why it is that you think I should grant you what it is that you're seeking in terms of orders. And as I understand it, you're looking for primary custody of Alicio. And you're okay now. Are you okay with what's going on with your daughter? I mean, are we able to stipulate to that?
She's had a change of heart. She knows that what she's done was wrong in her interview with the court. She feels horrible that she lied.
So are you following a different schedule or the schedule that was set in place by me? Are you following the same schedule that's been ordered? And
no, she's been week on, week off, just like
week on, week off, like Alicio.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
She wanted to do that.
Okay. All right. And I mean, counsel, if we can get that out of the way, is that something that is okay with everybody on the defendant's side, so we can make that a final order? Or is she looking for primary custody of their daughter?
Since we are here at trial, she is asking for primary
No.
custody of both
No.
children.
No,
So
no.
yes, as a result of today,
Why? I mean, I'm asking not just because we're at trial. If they're okay with it, I don't want to put a trial on just because they're here at trial. So, if regarding this particular child, are they okay with that schedule? I mean, I think you need to talk to your client about it before we get into that. But I don't want to hear a whole trial about her if everybody's okay with her, because she's been separate and different from Alicio. So, just for the sake of putting on a trial because you're sitting here, I want them to really look at what they think is best, and if they think it's best that they share her, then I want them to do that. Just saying, we don't need to go through a whole trial and make it worse for people that already have it, pretty emotional and pretty dramatic thus far. So
No, there was actually a significant period of time since we were last here in court that Ryan didn't even take either child and just defaults to mom being the person with primary responsibility. So how he goes back and forth between just neglecting all responsibility and then controlling things, and that certainly isn't indicative of someone who's going to share joint physical custody and do that appropriately. So,
but they've been doing that.
They have been doing week on, week off with both children during the summer, since at some point during the summer, after that period of time that he just completely didn't have any visitation at all by his own request.
Okay. Ryan? Go ahead. You want to ask any more questions of your wife?
Let me see. I have some more questions.
How many years have you known my children?
9.
When we met, where did I live?
4836 Bedrock Court.
Did I live there alone?
Nope.
Who lived with me?
Andrea and the kids.
How about throughout the 9 years, have I made numerous attempts to be in the children's lives?
Yes.
Has Andrea dictated whether I see the kids or not?
Yes.
Would you say she's done it in a fair manner?
Dictating whether you see the kids?
As far as like timeshare, was it fair?
No.
How did that happen?
How did what happen?
This alleged dictating of the timeshare. What happened?
Throughout the years, he would basically call Andrea or text message her, ask her if he was able to pick up the kids for the weekend, and the response was always, "We already have plans for the weekend," or "They're in California," or "They're with my mom," or "They're with my grandma," or things like that. It was whenever it was convenient for him to have the kids. But he would constantly be calling them and trying to spend time with them. So it was basically based off of when she would allow him to spend time with them.
Well, why couldn't I get a hold of the kids a lot of the time?
Are we talking from before 2015 or after 2015?
Actually, yes, after 2015, after 2015. Why couldn't I get a hold of her to ask for the kids?
She changed her number.
Did she give me any other number to reach her?
No.
Was Aliana allowed to talk to me, like communicate through phone, text, email, anything with me?
No.
At any point did Andrea block our numbers that way we could not call?
Yes.
For as long as you can remember, how long have I been paying child support?
Since I've met you, 2008.
Would you say that I opened this case because of money?
No.
Would you say I opened this case because my taxes got taken?
No.
Were my taxes taken one time?
No. They were taken 3 times.
I ever made voluntary child support payments?
Yes, multiple times.
Did I ever give Andrea money outside of child support?
Yes.
When we lived on Zoroaster, how often were the kids coming over?
Can you give us a time frame as to when that is?
2012 to 2015, 2014.
The roaster was 2008. That was your sister's house. 2008 to 2010.
American Beauty.
Violet Breeze.
Violet Breeze.
What is it?
Violet Breeze. The name of the street. From 2012 to 2014 or 15, I believe.
No, it was 2011 and 2012.
What is it? I'm sorry, you're going to have to speak up.
We lived at 6518 Violet Breezeway from 2011 to 2012, 13-ish. I believe it was 2013.
All right, so you can ask the question again. I'm sorry, I just was trying to establish a time frame so that I knew when you were talking about. Okay.
How often were the children coming over?
They were coming over. You would pick them up Friday after school and drop them off Monday.
And that was that consistently every weekend, or was that when Andrea would allow it?
That was pretty consistent when it was convenient. It was about 6 months of a time period to where they were coming over every weekend.
Would you say I've been there for the children since me and Andrea broke up in 2006?
2008.
2008, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Was there ever a time that I could not be reached by Andrea if she needed anything?
No. She always knew your address, phone number, everything.
was I ever involved in any sports with either Aliana or Alicia?
Yes.
What sports would I take them to?
Soccer. We take them every Sunday to Rampart, the indoor soccer. Yeah.
What other sport would we go watch them do?
Their karate classes that were on Centennial Hills. That was like Saturdays.
How long has Alicio been urinating either the bed or his pants?
I noticed in 2010.
How long has Alicio been on number 2 in his pants?
A year and 3 months.
Could it be longer than that?
Yes, it could. You hadn't seen him in a year before. That's why you don't know.
Motion to strike is non-responsive to the question asked.
Hold on 1 second. I couldn't even hear what she was saying. What were you saying?
I just said.
Was she answering the question, or was she
No.
just speaking?
She was just
Okay.
continuing on. Motion to strike is non-responsive was what I was saying.
So, I don't know what she said, but granted, when there's no question pending, don't just volunteer information. He needs to ask you the question. Okay. All right. Very good.
When I went to Aliana's school, when we found out they were back from California, why didn't I get Aliana?
Aliana wanted to go with you. She told her vice principal twice that she wanted to go with you. The school let her go with you.
Objection beyond this person's personal knowledge and hearsay.
Yeah. Sustained. So, you need to take a step back and ask questions about what she has personal knowledge. And there were some assuming facts, not evidence there. Like you just sort of jumped to when they got back. Can you lay some more foundation as to when you're talking about and what happened, so that I have the facts and evidence? Does that make sense? So, yeah, you just sort of jumped into this whole when they got back from California, but there was never any establishing of when they went to California. So, if you could do that for me, and then you can ask your questions.
Okay, what year did Andrea leave with the children to California?
August 28, 2015.
What year did they return?
October 30th, 2015.
What day did I go down? What day did we go down to Aliana's school to pick her up?
It was in May of 2016.
Why wouldn't Aliana? Why didn't Aliana leave with me that day?
She said she had to call her mom
Objection,
to make sure it was
hearsay.
okay. I was there. I was at the school.
Wait a minute. So, here's the thing. I don't know if it's a proof, it's offered for the truth of the matter asserted. So, I I kind of, what is it that you're, I'm just going to allow it. Go ahead, overruled. Go ahead.
You want me to?
Yeah, answer.
Okay. She wanted to call her mom to make sure that it was okay that she left the school with him. Finish? Keep going. There's a lot more, but I don't know if you want me to keep going.
You can ask some more questions.
Did the principal release Aliana to me?
He did.
Was Aliana scared to leave with me?
Yes, that's why she said we were out the door already, and she said, wait, I gotta call my mom and make sure that it's okay that I go. And then that's when she went back into the school, and she had them call her mom to ask if it was okay that she went with you.
So after she called her mom, what happened?
When was this you're talking about?
May 2016.
That's what I thought you said. All right.
Her mom came down with her partner, Nohea. We were all sitting in a room together. Aliana had her head down. She was crying. She said she wanted to go with you twice. Andrea kept saying, no, she said she doesn't want to go with him. She told me she doesn't want to go with him. Vice principal said, okay, well, she's already told me once that she wants to go with her dad, but I will take her out of the room and go ask her in private. He took her out of the room, went to ask her, came back and said, well, she said she wants to go with her dad, and we can't keep her. So they allowed her to go with Ryan, and then they left out the door, and they told us to wait there, and Andrea had informed the CCSD police that he had a warrant for child support, and then at that point he was arrested and taken to jail for that. So she did not get to leave with her dad.
So, what type of weapon did I have on the school, on my possession at school?
Pocket knife?
Was it a gun?
No.
How did we find out that they were even back from California?
Her partner's Facebook page.
Did she tell us that she was back in town?
No.
I'm gonna rewind a little bit. The night she left, when she brought the police to our door and took Aliana, did she give a correct address so that we can reach her?
No.
Did I make any attempt to call, communicate with the children, send birthday gifts of any sort to California, to them in California?
Yes.
And what happened?
The gifts were returned, saying address wasn't found, and every time we would call, the number would go straight to voicemail. Text would get unresponse to.
Were you communicating with Aliana through email?
Yes, in December of 2015 to January 2016.
Why did that stop?
She said that she was in trouble because her mom found out that she was emailing, which her mom admitted to in her answers.
So, Andrea punished Aliana for trying to talk to me.
Objection, hearsay. Beyond this person's personal knowledge.
Which part? What are you saying?
Or knowing the interaction between Andrea and Aliana.
Can I speak for you?
Hold on. So you're going to have to rephrase that because that's sustained. So rephrase your question or get it in another way.
How do you know Aliana was not allowed to communicate with me through email?
In the admit questions that you asked her through your attorney, your previous attorney, the question was, did you ever punish Aliana when you found out that by taking away her phone, email, whatever, when she found out that she was emailing us in 2015, 2016, she admitted to punishing Aliana
This
for
is in
having
the discovery?
communication. Yes, it's in the exhibits.
Is it true that Aliana wanted to be with me, wanted to talk to me, and was not allowed to by her mother?
Objection, hearsay. And speculation.
Well, we don't know yet if that's a yes or no answer, and then we don't know how she knows that yet.
And
So,
compound.
well, okay, so
And
we
legal.
have one objection. Only get one at a time. So, was she ask the question again, and then I'm going to. It's basically, it's a yes or no answer, and then from there, he may call for hearsay, but I don't know yet because he hasn't gotten that far. So,
I'll just move on. In 2012, when I filed the first custody complaint, was it because, well, did I file because I knew Alicia was sick and they were not being, their hygiene was not good?
Objection leading.
So that's sustained, and I'm going to tell you the better way to do this is to do direct questioning, and I know you don't know what that is. You need to ask
Yes,
open-ended, no, open-ended questions. Who, what, when, where, why. So that's your job on direct, if you're direct examining her. So if you say, is it true, or if it's a yes or no question, she's likely going to object to it being leading. So, all right, so
Why did I file in 2012 for child custody?
Because Alicia was urinating in his pants, the kids' hygiene was not taken care of, they were sick all the time, and their living conditions were unhealthy.
Did Andrea raise the children?
No.
Who raised Aliana and Alicia?
Their great-grandma Lola.
So it's fair to say that she kept me from seeing my children and left them at her grandmother's house
Yes.
and collected child support from me.
Yes.
How did you find out Aliana had a UTI?
Through her coming over every weekend, I would wash her clothes, and the smell that would come off of her underwear was just not normal for a 9-year-old. And I was doing research, and when she had wet the bed one night, which she doesn't do, so I didn't think that that was right. So I was doing research, and one thing that popped up said it could be UTI. So I went to Smith's, got a UTI test, came back, said it was positive, and then that's how we found out that she had a UTI.
Did I make an appointment with Dr. Pimentel for that?
Yes, you did.
Did I take Aliana down to Dr. Pimento for UTS.
Yes, you did.
How long do you think she had that UTI?
Objection calls for speculation.
Overruled.
I would say about 5-6 months. I was noticing it every single weekend. For about 5-6 months, I noticed the smell.
If you were taking care of your children every day, would you notice something like that?
Yes.
Did me and Andrea ever have a good co-parenting thing going on?
Yes.
Why do you think that stopped?
It stopped when she moved to California and she started dating her current partner.
Do you think her current partner gets in the way of us co-parenting?
Yes, I do.
Do the children have a good relationship with her partner?
Alicio does, but Aliana does not.
Did Aliana ever tell you that she looked at you more as a mother? That she looked at you as more of a mother than her own?
When she was 9 years old.
Yes. When I picked up Alicio from school in May 2016, was he upset?
Yes, he was. He was crying in the car.
What did he say in the car?
Objection, hearsay.
What's the purpose of the statement that he's about to make? Because if you're offering it for the truth of the matter asserted, if you're offering it for what he had to say as being true, then it's hearsay, and I have to sustain the objection. If you're offering it for some other reason, you need to let me know.
The reason I'm offering it because the child wouldn't say what he said on his own. It's negative things being said to him about me throughout his life.
Okay, so that doesn't really help me. All right, I'm going to sustain the objection, but you can.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you're offering it.
That's
Oh,
an honestly
actually,
good
hold on one second. Give me an offer of proof. Because if he says Dad's a jerk, that doesn't mean that it's for the truth of the matter asserted. It means that's what he just says out loud. So go ahead and tell me what it is that you're. No. We're in the midst of it. I'm giving you the opportunity to tell me what. Go ahead and tell me what was said.
He said if you
Overrule
love
the objection.
He said if you love me, you would pay child support.
Okay. Well, we know that's not offered for the truth of the matter asserted. Okay, very good. So you can proceed. We'll allow the testimony in. So keep going.
long was Alicio upset that day?
Probably like 30 minutes, and then he was fine.
Do you think Alicio was stressed out to see me when I picked him up from school that day?
No.
You think Alicio was scared of me when I picked him up that day?
No, he was happy when we got to the house.
How long, how many days was it, how many days went by till Alicio started saying he was sick?
We had him at Desert Pediatrics, pediatrician, within 24 hours of having him in our care.
And then prior to that day, on May 2016, the end of the school year, how long had it been since I seen him?
She came and picked him up from our apartment July of 2016. I can't recall exactly what day.
I can't hear you.
July of 2015.
Okay, start over. Hold on one second. From the time you picked, can you repeat that question and make sure I understand what you just laid out? 'Cause I didn't catch that.
How long had it been since I seen Alicio when we had him before having him in the ER?
July of 2015. So almost a year.
So after not seeing Alicio for almost a year, he was in the ER 2 days after we reunited.
Yes.
Was Alicio given a laxative from the ER?
There's 2 days. Which ones are you talking about?
The first day, the first visit. Was Alicio given a laxative?
No, not on the 26th, though.
What was Alicio given?
Zofran for nausea.
When we went back, what did they refer us to?
Gastroenterologist, because we had them do an x-ray, and he had a moderate amount of stool in his bowel.
Alright, I'm kind of like all over the place. I'm
Okay,
really
you're
not
fine.
going in order from.
You're fine. It's fine. You're allowed. You're fine.
Okay.
You know what? Go off the record for a second. Hey,
One more.
hey, Mr. Geraldo. Yep.
Did I give Andrea permission to take Aliana and Alicio out of state?
No.
Did I tell Andrea specifically that she did not have my consent to take them out of state?
Yes, you did.
What type of mood did Aliana say she had been in from not being able to see or talk to me?
Objection, hearsay.
Right. Sustained. Remember, we just talked about in that particular instance, you're asking me to hear what she said and how she felt, and that's offering it for the truth of the matter, and that means it's hearsay. Okay?
Did Aliana say that she was stressed out because she wasn't able to talk to me?
Yes.
Objection, hearsay.
Yeah.
And
Whenever
legal.
you tell me what she's saying, if you're offering it to prove that what she's saying was true, then it's hearsay, and it can't be offered. Okay? So that's sustained.
Did I notify Andrea when we took Alicio to the ER after 24 hours of having him?
Yes, you did.
Did I keep Andrea informed of Alicio's condition for the months of June 2016 to July 2016?
Yes, you did.
How did I inform her of his condition and what was going on?
Text message.
Were there any talking parents messages?
No, you hadn't gone to court yet. Till July 13th.
So when we were referred to the gastro doctor from the ER, where did we take him?
To Dr. Sheik.
What day did we see Dr. Sheik?
June 30th, 2016.
Was Andrea informed about that appointment?
She was.
What did Dr. Sheik say about Alicio's condition?
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
After that visit on June 30th, 2016, did I update Andrea about what Dr. Sheik had said?
Yes, you did.
Did she reply in any way, shape, or form?
No, she did not.
When was the next time? When was the next date that we took Alicia back to Dr. Sheik?
July 12th, 2016.
Did we inform Andrea of that?
What was the next date?
July 12th, 2016.
Did we inform Andrea prior to that visit?
Yes, you did.
Did Andrea attend?
No, not that one.
Did we update her about what the doctor said after that visit?
Yes, we did.
Did she reply?
No, she did not.
Did Andrea make an appointment with Dr. Sheik without letting me know?
Yes, she did.
How did we find out about that appointment?
Dr. Sheik accidentally called us instead of calling Andrea.
Why?
To confirm the appointment that she had set that was supposed to be the following day in August 2016.
Did Andrea inform me of that appointment?
No, she did not.
After we found out about the appointment, did we go down there?
Yes, we did.
Did Andrea wish for me to be present in that appointment?
No, she did not.
After that appointment, were we discharged?
Yes, you were.
Did you say Alicio was healthy when we picked him up from school after not seeing him for approximately a year?
No.
What did Alicio look like?
He had, his eyelid was a little bit swollen. It was all crusty and dry. His lips were all crusty and dry. He had rash on his inside of his arms. He was just didn't look right.
When was that? I missed that.
When we picked him up from school?
In May.
May. After not seeing him.
Got it.
What did we do about the way he looked?
As far as his eye and his rash, we took him to see Dr. Dottori after seeing that he had been referred to one on May 2nd of 2016.
We took Alicio to a skin doctor?
Yes, so we found out he was referred to through the doctor's notes on May 2nd, 2016.
How fast did Alicio look better after that appointment?
2 weeks.
Was it fairly easy to get his rash and his eye and lips fixed?
Yes, he just needed creams and medication.
How did you know Alicia was referred to a skin doctor prior to us taking him to one?
When we went to Dr. Pimentel's office and requested his medical records from 2012 to present, and we were going through, and we seen that in May she was referred to the skin doctor. But
Did Andrea ever make an appointment for the skin doctor that she was referred
No.
to? What medication was Alicia's great-grandmother giving Alicia for his stomach hurting him all the time?
I don't remember what she had said.
What did Andrea and her grandmother say was the cause of him being sick?
Which part of the sick? There's like 3 different things wrong with him. Which one?
The upset stomach.
Stress. And from seeing you.
Now, what medication were they giving Alicia?
The Zofran. I believe that was the only thing they were giving him was the Zofran.
Does Alicia have allergies?
To environmental allergies, yes.
How do we know which allergies he had?
On August 14th, we took him to see the skin doctor, Dr. Dottori, for the first time, and they did the test where they poke the back with like specific food allergens, tree allergens, molds, and it came up that he was allergic to certain trees, he was allergic to certain molds, but no food allergies.
When Andrea admitted Alicia to the ER March 13, 2016, did she tell us it was because of allergies?
Yes, she did.
What did the notes say? What do the records say is why he was admitted?
His face was turning purple because he had been vomiting so much. Fever, stomach hurting. I believe his eye was swollen.
Is that consistent with allergies?
No.
Did the ER refer Andrea to any doctor of any sort on that visit?
Not that one, I don't think that one.
Did the ER tell Andrea that there can be an obstruction in his gastrointestinal tract? 3/13/2016.
Objection beyond the personal knowledge of this witness and hearsay.
Right. Only one. Get one objection. Don't understand why people. Okay, so which one are you asserting?
Beyond this client's personal knowledge, what the ER doctor told Andrea at a visit in March 2016 that only Andrea was present at and was not recorded that I'm aware of.
So is that
Beyond this witness's personal knowledge, what was said at a visit she wasn't even present at.
okay? So is it really hearsay that it's called?
Well, so it's beyond her personal knowledge is the first objection.
Okay. Unless she was there, but I don't know.
She was not present
Okay.
at it.
Yeah. So sustained. So unless she knows,
I got
and or
all
unless
the
she's
records, and she-
unless she's told her. Pardon?
I got the records, and she's went over.
That's who's gone over them.
my wife.
Okay.
She's gone over the records.
But that's different. So as opposed to what Andrea's been told, she wasn't there to hear it. So it's sustained. But if she's watched or looked at the records, that's a completely different thing. But even still, she really can't testify as to the records. So in any event, go ahead and ask your next question.
When did Andrea become aware that Alicio had some type of bowel issue?
Before we told her or after we told her?
Was she aware of Alicio having an issue before we let her know about it?
Yes.
How do you know that?
The records from his previous school in California.
What school is that?
Loma Vista.
Was Andrea ever called for Alicio from the school?
Objection beyond the personal knowledge of this witness.
Well, I would say that it's calling for speculation at this point. So, yeah, she doesn't know it firsthand. She can't really testify to it. If she's been told something, then the question becomes, is it hearsay or not hearsay? But, so that's sustained.
Your Honor, it was in her admit questions from the attorney that the attorney asked
But
her.
that's, okay, so ask the question again.
Was Andrea ever called about Alicio from the Loma Vista school?
Yes, she was.
Why?
She had to come pick him up.
Hold on.
Objection.
Hold on. I'll get to it. We're going to work our way through it. So, how does she know? I mean, you have to tell us how she knows this.
How do you know?
The question is really, do you know if she was? Yes. How? Because that way okay, so how?
How do you know that Andrea was called by the school for Alicio?
The school profile says he was sent home for that in October of 2015 when he was in California.
Why was he sent home?
Stomach
Objection.
issues.
I'm sorry. I'm confused. I thought you just said this was something that she had put in her.
I thought he was asking about his bladder because about his
All right.
bladder issues. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Okay, so
and ask me why.
So
Why
that would be,
We'll call
okay
Andrea.
guys, hold on 1 second. Miss McFarlane, were you making an objection?
I was.
She's saying it was something
His
that was in the
question
school
was-
profile.
Why was Alicio sent home from school in California? That is not a question that this witness has any personal knowledge to answer.
Correct. Well, we don't know that for sure. Personal knowledge or been told by defendant,
Correct.
but we don't know that at this point. The way it's being asked,
Well-
though, is assuming facts, not in evidence, really is what's happening, is we're getting way far ahead of what the facts aren't in yet, and we're just making the assumption that they exist and that she knows about them. So you're going to have to lay some more, basically you have to lay some more foundation.
And it's 3 o'clock. I don't know if you're
I don't time.
holding us to each
I don't
an hour and
time.
a half.
I never have.
Are we going to go beyond 5 o'clock?
Depends upon how far we get. I don't time people. I would let you know ahead of time if I were timing you. Like I'm giving him leeway. He's representing himself. There are plenty of lawyers that take way more time than this. So do your best, and we'll keep going.